Vivi stood quietly at the window, her fingers resting against the cold glass. Outside, Owi's car disappeared down the street, again. He had said the same words before leaving. Church matters. Community outreach. Important meeting. But tonight, those words felt hollow. There was a time when he would linger at the door. A time when his laughter filled their living room. When his hands reached for hers without hesitation. Now, his smiles felt borrowed. His affection, rehearsed. And Vivi felt it. Something had changed. Gift had noticed it too. Gift was not the type to sugarcoat truth.
Vivi, something isn't right. Men don't just change overnight. He's hiding something, you can feel it.
Vivi wanted to defend him. She wanted to protect the image of her marriage. But inside her chest, something gnawed at her peace.
Each late-night arrival. Each unanswered call. Each quick excuse. Before I thought it was stress from work. Stress from church activities. Owi is no longer the man I married. Something is not really right.
Piece by piece, a wall was rising between them. Sarah sat on the edge of her bed, twisting her hair around her fingers. Her thoughts were miles away. She replayed his voice in her head. "You're different, Sarah. You make me feel alive." Each time she remembered those words, her heart raced. She believed she had his heart. She believed she was the chosen one. To her, this wasn't just attention. It was love. SAR clutched her pillow, staring at her phone screen. Her message from Owi glowed softly. "You understand me, SAR. You see the real me." She smiled into the darkness. Those words were enough to keep her warm at night. She didn't know Sarah carried similar promises. And Sarah didn't know SAR held the same illusion. Both sisters believed they were special. Both believed they were chosen. And at the center of it all was Owi. He had mastered the art of divided affection. Morning compliments to one, midnight whispers to the other. He fed them just enough hope to keep them clinging. To him, it was a game. Two hearts orbiting around him, feeding his ego. While at home, his wife's suspicion grew sharper. The changes between Sarah and SAR were subtle at first. They no longer talked late into the night. Their shared laughter became rare. Silence grew heavy in the house. And suspicion began to replace sisterhood. One evening, Sarah noticed SAR smiling at her phone. Sarah asked SAR.
"Who's that?"
SAR, too quickly.
"No one."
She flipped her phone over. Too fast. Sarah forced a smile. But her chest tightened. Hours later, SAR passed by Sarah's door. She heard whispering. Soft. Tender. Almost loving. She stopped. Her heart pounded. The next morning, she asked carefully. Sar asked.
"Sarah, who were you talking to last night?" "Oh, it was just a friend."
The lie hung in the air. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Unbelievable. The truth lingered between them like smoke. Thick. Suffocating. Neither wanted to imagine the other as a rival. They were sisters. Born 5 minutes apart. Raised to share everything. But now, they were sharing the same man. And they didn't even know it. They think they were keeping things from each other. And at the center of the storm was Vivi. Watching. Waiting. Listening. She was no fool. Her silence was not weakness. It was patience. And when the truth finally surfaced, it would not be Owi alone who faced the consequences. Because betrayal doesn't just break marriages. It shatters families. It rewrites sisterhood. It exposes hearts. The storm was building. Secrets were multiplying. And love had quietly become a battlefield. Vivi stood by the window that evening, her arms folded tightly across her chest. Outside, cars passed by in a steady rhythm. The distant hum of traffic should have been calming. But tonight, it only made the silence inside her home louder. 4 months now, Something about Owie had changed. He came home late. Too late. And sometimes, when he walked past her, she caught the faint scent of perfume. Perfume that was not hers. At first, she told herself it was nothing. Maybe a colleague. Maybe someone passing by. But the feeling in her stomach refused to disappear. Something wasn't right. Vivi had tried everything. She dressed beautifully for him. She cooked his favorite meals. Sometimes she stayed awake late into the night, just to greet him with a smile when he walked through the door. But Owie barely noticed. His mind was always somewhere else. His phone was always in his hand. Whenever she asked who kept calling him, he would wave it off casually.
Who are you talking to?
It's a business call.
It's just work, Vivi. Stop worrying. But she was worried. Because this wasn't the man she married. Vivi remembered the early days of their marriage. Back then, Owie couldn't wait to come home. They laughed together. They shared secrets late into the night. They dreamed about their future. But now, it felt like she was living with a stranger. Just then, her children ran into the room, tugging gently at her dress. Children, innocently. Mommy.
Mommy, when is Daddy coming home?
He'll be home very soon, sweetie.
Okay, Mommy.
Vivi's throat tightened. She forced a soft smile. Vivi, quietly. Soon. But deep down, she wasn't sure if it was true. Later that night, Owie finally returned. Vivi watched him carefully. His shirt was half untucked. His cologne was strong, almost overwhelming. As if he had sprayed too much, trying to hide another scent. He kissed her cheek quickly, avoiding her eyes. He replied, tired voice. Long day at work. Then he disappeared into the bathroom. Vivi sat down slowly. Her heart felt heavy. She didn't want to admit it. Not yet. But something inside her marriage was starting to break. While Vivi sat alone at home, Owie was somewhere else entirely. At a hotel bar across town. He leaned casually against the counter, swirling his drink. A sly smile appeared on his face as Sarah walked in. She looked elegant. Confident. Her perfume filled the air before she even reached him. She leaned forward and kissed his cheek. Sarah, playfully. You kept me waiting. He replies, smoothly. Work. The same excuse he gave Vivi. And Sarah believed him, because she believed she was special. The woman he chose. At least for tonight. But Sarah wasn't the only woman in Owie's life. A week later, he returned to the same hotel. But this time, he wasn't with Sarah. He was with SAR. Sarah's twin sister. SAR was different. She was softer, more playful. She laughed easily at his jokes. Unlike Sarah, she didn't ask too many questions. And Owie liked that. To him, both sisters were simply part of a game. What neither Sarah nor SAR knew was that Owie loved neither of them. They were distractions. Temporary flames feeding his ego. He enjoyed watching them compete for his attention. Each sister trying to prove she mattered more. To Owie, it was entertaining, and it made him feel powerful. Back home, Vivi was suffocating in silence. She had no idea her husband spent his nights weaving lies between two sisters. Sisters who were slowly turning into enemies. A storm was building, and none of them were ready for what would happen next.
Cheers to
One
that.
evening, the
Glad you're
tension
enjoying
finally exploded. Sarah
Cheers to
saw
that.
SAR coming down from Owie car.
Have a
She
good
was not
time.
happy.
Thanks, I
She
will.
confronted SAR. Sarah confronted SAR in their mother's compound. The night air felt heavy. Their voices were sharp.
Sar, I saw you coming. Out from my man car. Stay away from him. He is mine. I am older than you. When I talk, you listen. Never. Older sister or not older. He chooses me too.
Their words cut through the night like poison. Neither realized the truth. They were fighting for a man who valued neither of them. This man in question knows that they were twin sisters, identical twins, and he chooses to date both of them. Now they knows they were dating the same man for long time, but are not ready to let go. Follow Storytime with Loquink for more episodes. Subscribe to watch the next episode of Bound by Love Broken by Desire, Episode 3. Don't forget to drop your comments about what you think about this story. See you in the next episode.